these nervous and lack of confidence indicators, once they're there, you'll be able to sit down at a computer, do an hour's worth of work, and then print your money and get the hell on with your life.
Correct. And that's what
VC.
Go ahead.
Got a question.
Mhm.
So, you know, Jimmy's really good with doing 15 and 30 minutes, right?
Mhm.
So I wanted to ask a question. I've noticed him, you know, sometimes we'll both be waiting for a trade, and in the meantime, he'd post he just made 48%. I'm like, where'd you get that? I didn't even start yet.
Yeah.
So he's really good at the 15 minute and 30 minute. My question was, let's say we're waiting for a trade. 15 minutes is on the top, and we're waiting for a short. The trend is short, like 4, 2, 1, it's kind of pointing downwards or going down. Can we ride the 15 minutes if the whole thing is not ready for the long run? Can we ride the 15 minutes to the bottom and cash out?
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah.
wait for it to go back up and
Yeah.
then ride it again?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the thing is like, okay, for instance, right now, look at RPL, right? It's not a full trade yet, but here's the difference, right? Now that we're here at this level, right? And I've been gone, what do we got? A couple hours, 2.5 hours, right? So 3 hours later, I come back. Remember, everything used to be green. Well, now we didn't get our 30-minute green moon, but we got our 1 hour reject. Remember, I told you there was going to be a rejection. Then it went back up and rejected. Now see how it's farther getting away from touching being green moon? And now we have a red trend, but we also have a 5-minute trend. Right? Now the 3 and the 5 are red. Right? So now I'm safer. You see what I'm saying? So here,
I see.
you see, yeah, I now the risk is gone. Right? That's what you want to say. Because look at, if you go back, I wish I was here when that stupid little green spike happened. Right? When that big spike happened, I wish you could rewind this shit. But that big spike, I guarantee you that you had green in your 3 and your 5 and your 4 and your 2. And now that those are gone, right? Now we're in the safety zone, right? So now when that next red candle came, I would have been more inclined with my 1 hour coming down to get into this trade early. Because now I'm seeing the weakness of it, right? And the very first thing is go look at your 15-minute volume. When did it break below the 4.5?
Cut out.
See that? It broke right below the 4.5, right on that first red candle on the 15.
Yep, the first big red candle.
So that would have put you in at 27.26, or worst case scenario 27.22, which literally happens to be right now. That's the entry you guys should be in right now.
We're not.
So I was, and then I cashed out.
Yeah, because you took that 15 minutes to the bottom.
Yeah, it went down, and I cashed out. It was like 43%. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take it too long.
But that's what you're supposed to. This is where I was trying to tell you, like, see, if you had $1,000 bag there, you just made 400. And now, you see how the 15-minute pushes up and got weak? Look at the 15 push up and then break down.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's not going all the way up.
So weak. Right there, I'm staying in that. Now, if I would have gotten at the 27, 22 and hit 40%, I would have grabbed my first 400, and now I know I'm 400 up, right? Now I have $1,000. I'm like, all right, now we got house money here, right? As soon as that 15 push up and broke down again, I would have re-entered again. I would have took the 27.16 or 27.10 mark, right? Like, for instance, as soon as I seen this when I walked in the door, I was like, all right, so there's going to be, this is kind of like the zone that it starts to, you know, kind of like sit across, right? So 27.15 area, right? That's the area that it's starting to find itself locked into, right? So this is the area that you ever see it fight and look like it wants to go up and then it just goes and goes to shit. That's the area we're in now because we have a 4-hour red trend, a 2-hour. See, the older time frames have given us an alert that, hey, this is weaker than it looks.
Yeah.
Right? So now I'm safe because I see how that 15-minute volume came below, fought its way up, and now it's breaking down again.
Yes.
Yeah, so here's a zone. Now, if you're going to take a risk, right, this is what I was talking about. Like, if you're going to start cost average buying, this is where you cost average buy.
But the 3 minutes still spiking up or going up and down.
Yeah. And that. Now, this becomes your indicator, right? So now this is where you sit back and say, okay, this is going to tell me how strong this shit is, right? Remember how they say higher high, higher lows, right?
Yeah.
Now by
Yes.
watching these 3-minute candles, you're watching it. Is it getting anywhere closer to the 27.22 entry that I should have been in? Or is it working its way to that 3-minute 200 moving average? Because it's going to break through that. You see what I'm saying? The only support it has is the 200 moving average.
Yeah.
So right here, this is where you would be saying to yourself, this is where I'm cost average buying. This is a safe play here that I don't have to worry too much about because I'm not going to get a crazy spike out of here. Right? Because now it's like the odds are against the coin. Right? And if you wait, as soon as you get negative volume here, that's where you're going to see this drop. But if you're looking at if you're just watching it, you can see the 15 minutes struggling to get back up. This thing's about to dump right now, I'm telling you. So 27, I got in at 27.15 as soon as I saw it. Right? So I'm sitting right now, I'm in a 27.15 entry on this thing. Now I'm just waiting for it to finish its last breath here. But this is where you would be, set to cost average buy. You see, this is what I wanted you guys to do. This is why it's good to be in these chats right here, because you have all these eyes looking at the chart, and now you can be like, oh, I get it. See, even if it fights here for a while, right, and tries to build momentum, which sometimes it does, like it'll look like it's like, all right, I'm gonna get up out of here, and it's like it eventually just caves. Right, so for me, I'm looking at this going, yeah, this is gonna fight through this 27.22, right, and this is just gonna break through this 3-minute. It's gonna break through for sure, and it wants to go down to the 5-minute 200 moving average, right? That's what it wants to touch. And then what you're gonna start realizing is when you see this, you're gonna start realizing that when you look at go to look at your 5-minute, you're gonna look at that pattern that's on the board. And now you're going to start looking at the pattern going, oh shit, I see what just happened. Right? Because that was how a coin becomes weaker and weaker, right? Because look at the 5-minute, right? You had a big run, hit a level, came down, came on another push up, what'd it do? Hit a level, came down. Tried to push, came down, got a higher high, came down, and then one last wick. Right? Like this is, you see what I'm saying? Like this is an example. Actually, I'm gonna cut this one up. And this is what we're gonna put into an example spot here. And I just wanna have these examples so that when we start looking at the chart, we can realize what's possible, right? Let me put this in a fucking current trades. I'll move it later, but I'm gonna throw it in there real quick. And all I want to do there is start to get you guys to look, so you can start realizing when something's going to give up, right? And that way you're not like, so you got everybody take a look. Here, let me share my screen. I'll share my shit for you. And what I want you to see, you guys still hear me, right?
Yep.
Right,
Yes.
I'm gonna share my screen. Tell me if it gets worse when I share my screen.
Okay.
Alright, there we go. How's my volume been? Decent?
So far, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so you see here, I got 26% on this trade already. But what I wanted you guys to see was, I took a picture of this right here because I wanted you guys to start looking at the 5-minute. And we're going to take pictures of that. And I'm going to go back and get 5 minutes of all the pictures before something dumps. But as you can see on the 5-minute, when you pull back, you see this big run that we had. It comes down, there's the second push. They sell off, tries to push, comes back, and it just can't do anything, right? So boom, 2, 3, 4, and then goes to shit, right? Then it comes back and it finds some life, right? Boom, higher high, then it runs, boom, and then what? Here we go. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4 goes to shit. Ready? Starts to come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the final wick, and then that should hit your instinct to go, oh, this is the end of this. See what I'm saying? You're gonna start seeing these last hurrahs, and really you're gonna start picking up on these crazy ass inflections, and you'll also start to realize that you have plenty of time to get into the right position here before this gives up. Because even if you miss this big spike and it comes down, and see how it tried to push up right there, and this lets you know like, oh, I'm weak, and then it came back and it tried to do it again. This is where you would have picked up and said, oh, this thing's about to go. As soon as I walked in the door and I seen this pattern, I bought in immediately. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's coming down a little bit too right now.
Oh, it's going to dump. This is the dump we've been waiting on.
I did put those pictures in there of that trade that you asked me to put in the chat. So there's four pictures in that chat. If you take a look at it and give me some quick feedback on it, I'll put all the notes in there. You'd probably
which one? Where'd you put them? Where'd you put them?
In the live chat there, the
Academy
Discord chat. Just 3 or 4 pictures. There you go. Those big 4 pictures right there.
All right. And then we're going to go over this.
Let
me see if I can see this trade.
That's analyzing that big dump right there.
I like it, man.
Cutting out again. We can't hear you.
Do I only cut out when I share my screen? Is that the problem?
You could. I don't know. We talked about it earlier. We think that whatever microphone you're using, it is picking up the noise reduction, and every little shuffle you make is it's like cell phone. You have that on, and it just cuts all the volume out because it's trying to cancel background noise. So every time you shuffle in the chair or whatever.
You're right. It could be. Yeah, because this is a really damn good mic.
You sound crystal freaking clear now.
Is that better? Is that better, boys? Is that what I need to do? Well, because you know what, it's. I was about to say this motherfucker's the HyperX. This is one of the best fucking. And you're right. You. I don't know what you guys were talking, but that's exactly what happens. It cancels the shit out. This is one of the best gaming mics because I game all the time. So this thing is designed for me to game, stream, and even if somebody's sitting next to me, it cancels them out. So what's happening is, now that you said it, it made perfect sense. I have it sitting next to the computer because I just lay it on the table wherever I'm at because I'm traveling right now. But what happens is it sits next to the computer and then the laptop talks. It hears the laptop talking. It cancels me out while I'm talking because it can hear the background. It can hear the noise on me moving the mouse inside the Discord, and I don't even realize it because it's the speaker and the sound are at the same fucking moment, but it knows the difference and it does cancel me out. So now I'm actually holding it where it's supposed to be, which is normally hanging above my head. Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So that's the problem. That's what the fuck happened. All right. There we go. So this is what I was talking about. So what I want to do is start grabbing these pictures before the big dumps so that you guys can see, like, there's all types of fucking trades here, right? Once you learn to catch the momentum change, which is when the 2 hour starts to go down, these are all 15-minute fucking bangers, right? You can grab these little fucking dumps and take advantage of these dumps pretty easily, right? But it's like, we have to start once you have the understanding, right? Like the really the big goal is, right, and it's so much more. And I realize it because when I spend all this time trading like you guys, right? And that because I have to understand like what's the move, where we at, what makes it, and then I'm like, yeah, it's because they're not seeing what the big trades are, right? The big trades are, you lock into a trade and it's really like you don't need a lot to make a lot, right? When you have a bigger bag. And we have to start trading as if the big bag exists, right? All right, there's a $2,000 bag, 30% is 600, right? 3 of those trades a week is 1,800, right? That's where you want to be. That's $100,000 a year, And that's simplicity, right? And that way you have it in your head that you don't have to take unnecessary trades, right? That's kind of like the benefit. Now, and it's like working backwards. Once you master that moment, right? Then what you can do on these other trades, right, is you use a smaller bag, like $100 bag, and you take advantage of these 15-minute dumps for 30%, right? And you just work them out and you collect on them, right? And when that smaller bag builds up its own, monument, you increase that bag. You know what I mean? You got to have a big bag to the side for the real trade right here. That's why I'm never worried when I'm trading. It's because I know I'm just going to go wait for the big trade anyways, and it's gonna pay off. But that's what you guys have to get to, is like, all right, what's the whole point here? The point is to be trading a $2,000 bag and taking 30% profits, right? And taking that 600 3 times a week. So I have 1,800, because you're going to do 4 fucking trades a week, no problem, right? You take it in $2,400. That's 100,000 plus, right? And that's you being super patient, whenever the hell you walk in, finding something during the whim, and being there, right? Because we all know like what's going to happen down the road when you start taking in that type of money. You're gonna free up more time from your normal life. And you're going to be, you're going to take and say, all right, well, these are my areas that I like to trade. I trade from these 2 hours here and 2 hours here. And you're going to find the system, whether you're working, Tokyo or London, whatever it is. And you're going to find a little hot spots, and, with the alerts and everything and all the stuff that we have on these damn things, and everything Alf is fucking working on. Alf's going to have all types of shit for you guys. But eventually, it'll be like you'll get a text message and be like, oh, all right, I'll check that out in an hour. Then you go sit down, take 15 minutes to kind of chart it out and be like, okay, boom, boom, boom. All right, I'm going to put an entry right here, right? And then, as soon as that happens, you get an alert. All right, here's your first entry. You come look and you go, oh, it's just about to dump. And then you put your rest of your entry in, and now you're just waiting for inevitability, right? And that's the next level. That's the part that we're polishing off right now, right? See this little push, there's going to be another pump here because it hasn't fully committed because we haven't got to what we really want, right? And that's where I wanted to kind of go over. There's so many entries here. The entry that I really want is a 30-minute red moon, right? There it comes. Now, the question is, and this is why I always wait for, and this is why you always see me like having different entries and different marks, is because what I'm really doing is I'm tracking like percentages. Like how much did this make? How much could that have made? This entry here made 30% profits, right? And that was an early entry at 27.15. Now, is that the 50% or whatever that we wanted? Not really, right? And this little, let's see how it's spiking here. This is why the 30-minute or just waiting for the ultimate like trade to happen is also so important, because there's always these last, the orders that are finalizing, right? Because before this thing can dump, the exchanges have to finish the buy orders that are in there. So that's what it's doing right now. This is the end of the buy orders. And don't forget, there's a shitload of people, like terrible traders, that have put buy orders in these sections, right? That are looking for this to bounce down, right? This is why sometimes you go, what the fuck was that? There's a bunch of people that seen this pullback and then this pullback and put orders in here and said, hey, when it comes back down here, I'm going to catch the run. And they bought here, and then it spiked. And what did they do? They came back and put more orders over here, right? So you're always catching these limit orders that people are setting and then going about their business, right? And that's what these spikes are. They're just limit orders that are triggering on the way down. Eventually, those limit orders are going to disappear as it fights its way through. And when there's no more dumbass orders, then it's just going to go boom, 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 and then just go, okay, no more dumbass limit orders, and then everyone's going to sell. There's an end to it. The end to it is going to come with this 30-minute red moon. That, to me, that's the end. Like, that's just, as long as we still have everything else we need, 15-minute red moon, we have 1 hour red moon, still locked in. The only thing we're missing here is this 30. Once this 30 comes over and hits over in this little area here, then that thing will dump. And that's really what we're
I
at.
hate these spikes. These spikes scare the fuck out of me because I lost a lot of money because of that. I've never set my stop loss, and it just aped at that. That spikes
So
so hard, it just liquidated my account.
Is your orders on limit or market?
Mine is on limit.
Is that what it is on, Boogie? Limit?
Limit. Mine's on limit too, Yanni.
Okay. So a lot of times, because I was listening to what Boogie was saying earlier, right? And you have your stop loss set here, and it has a trigger point that it should close out the entire order. And then I've never had it where, I mean, look how quick. I was just down 20, 32%, and now I'm up 22. But it's I never had my stop loss not trigger here. So a lot of times I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out if you can change this somehow to, and this is where you might want to do it like this, Boogie. You see my screen, Boogie?
Boogie's not on. This is Sean.
Oh, Sean. So this is what I was saying. Like, so Boogie had a problem where his stop loss gets blown through, right? And was that you, Sean?
It happened with me. Yes, it happened with me.
Oh, were you the one talking earlier?
Yes, that's why with the stop loss. No, what happened with me was the stop loss. No, it also happened with Boogie. So Boogie was saying that, but the same thing happened with me. It just went right through my stop loss and just liquidated the crap out of my account. And at that time, I was getting ready for API 3, which was big. So
Yeah.
I lost a lot of money. That's why I disappeared from Discord for 2 days because I was depressed.
Oh.
And then I came back on. So I explained to Boogie what happened. He said the same thing happened to him. The stop loss it went right through.
And what I would do on that, man, when you guys have those things, man, I would go in and like, because if you're set on limit, it should close out, but market is the best way to do it, right? So I'm thinking like once you have an order, like this order's in, right? So I'm thinking to myself like, all right, if I go to market, right, and then I go to stop loss, let me see if that changes anything. Yeah, you see how that says market up there?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if that changes here, because I think that is what you guys are going to have to do. Let's see. It says market's price, so it shouldn't. Yeah, man, it shouldn't blow through that because market price means that it sells until it's gone. Right? It sells until it's gone, right? Because if you have a limit price, let's say you set a limit and it blows past that limit, it can keep going. And I've never seen mine get blown through. So that's why I was kind of like thinking.
It was limit price, yeah.
Yeah, but it's even on the stop loss. Like if once you have that stop loss in there, it shouldn't blow through there.
When we trade on the limit, but here's the other side of it. You can also wick in with it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
You set your price really, really away from where they're at, and it wicks in. I had it occur to me today on accident. I had the thing like that $3 or away from where it was trending, and it just spiked so long and sucked me into the trade, and it took off like a sailboat.
Yeah. Well, let me see here. All right. So let's start it. Let's just do a normal stop loss. All right. So let me see. I want to do something here to make sure that. All right. Let me put it on limit. Everything should be the same. Okay. So let's go in here and let's say, all right, I put my stop loss, and the first thing I'm going to do is I always do ROE, right? So just drop it down, return on investment. I'm going to drop in here. I'm going to say 50% for right now. I'm going to put my profit on here. And put this at 200 real quick. And let's see here. All right. Now, what I want to see is if I hit this again, but this time I go to batches. Right? Because that first one, oh, let me double check this. Was that in batches? Let me do this right. Let me double check this real quick. Let me cancel that out. All right. So I hit this first one. All right. That's in position. Perfect. Okay. So the first one should be in position, right? And this is what everybody should be doing. You put a 50, You're locked in. Your return on investment, like once you're practicing, if you're new, you should put a 50 in there just to make sure that you're winning, every single trade, right? Now, the difference is once you lock this in, Sean, go back here and hit the plus sign, okay? It'll be in batches, okay? Now, put another stop loss at your 50%, okay? And what batches is, guys, just so you know that you can actually set up that you take a certain amount of money at a certain time, right? You can move a slider. And I'll show you that. Let's say if you wanted to take profit at 100% or whatever, you could come to batches and say, let's say you put your first one at 200%. But at 100%, you wanted to take at least 50% profits, you see? So you just move your slider. See that? That's how that works. All right? So you can pick at that. Now, on the stop loss, you can say at 50%, I want you to only take this, right? So you can move that along. I'm going to keep it at 100, and I'm going to confirm it, right? Now, what that should do is, you see how it created 2 profits and 2 stop losses?
Yeah.
So go ahead and set multiple ones, and maybe make the first one 40. Like, let's say you're doing a 45% stop loss. Make the first one 42 and the second one 45.
Okay. Just to be sure so it doesn't...
Yeah. That way if one gets blown through, the other triggers. And you should be like, all right, so just walk me. So, Sean, you've been on fire, bro.
Well, yes, but then, you know what happened with the API? I guess I didn't tell you that. I was doing the stupid thing about leaving the auto margin because I was trying to save my money. I was down quite a bit, and it kept going. So I said, okay, I'm going to keep adding, in a short, this is my theory, right? It doesn't work all the time. So what's going on is, on a short, I'm always doing short. I don't do longs, right?
Right.
I'm only doing short. On a short, I feel like it can only go up so high, it's
Right.
going to come down. And I saved, XRP went up to 400% on me. And I kept saving with like adding, right? I don't want to lose that money. And then it came down. Like, I had to be there 8 hours. Finally,
Right.
the 9th hour, I made some money. It went down. But with HBAR and API3, it spikes so high. I had not set my stop loss yet. I was thinking that I'm going to, and it just drained everything out of the account. So now I'm taking that step, and I always set stop loss before, like,
You
before I
gotta
set my position.
you gotta be like, so this is what we were talking about earlier, right? And this is kind of what this whole thing has been about. Is like, I showed the reason why we have cost average buying. The reason why I showed guys this in boot camp was just because sometimes if you get into a bad situation, you add a little, and I call it the mirror bag, right? So if you're in for 100, then you have an extra 100, right? But you only want to cost average buy half of your original bag, depending on the size, right? And a lot of times you just want to, accepting I know sometimes it's tough to take that 45% loss, especially if it's $1,000 bag, but it's like, that just gets to where fixing that is basically not being in a trade until it's time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I jump early because I want to catch that.
Yeah, and I
I realized that.
How big was the bag, man? Where were you trading, bro? Oh, you just had it where it could take from you, right?
Yeah, it took 900 from me.
Oh, fuck, bro. So
yeah, that's
yeah, you want to protect. Yeah, you want to protect yourself, and this is where we were talking earlier. It's like I'm trying to get to the point where, guys, we have to realize, like, what are we here for, right? Like, the goal is to master a trade, right? And you're on the right track because you're only doing the short. That's all I like to do. And what it is that that if you wait on it and you hunt it, right? And you're just hunting it down, right? And you get to the point where you see it finally giving up, right? And that's what I was telling guys. Like, guys, the entries we can wait for, the reason why we have such high leverage is we can allow this damn thing to, like, literally start going down the hill. And as soon as it, like, starts to tumble but then hits a rock and slows down a little, then we jump on board. And then we go for the fucking ride. Because we don't need a lot, right? Because the whole idea is to think like this. all right, man, if I had a $4,000 bag, or even if I had a $2,000 bag, right? Because you were right there, 900, right? You only need 30% on that 900 to walk away with 250.
Yeah.
Right? And if you just sit there all week and you get one, good solid trade every other day, 4 of those trades in a week would have put 250 times 4. Now, we all know these fucking trades are going to hit more than fucking 30%. We know if you move your stop loss, you're going to get some of these trades for 50 to 100. And once you're moving your stop loss, because your job is basically once it gets above 35, 40%, you move your stop loss to the 30% mark. It starts running. You slowly, slide behind it. And then once you get to 50, let it get to 100. And then if it breaks out to 120, move to 80, and you walk away and you say, all right, that was a good fucking trade, right? But your only goal is to get 30. And if you're doing that 4 times a week, you're going to make $1,000 a week. 2 weeks of doing that, or 8 trades, right? Because we're always talking time. I don't want you guys to not be trading because you're like, oh, I had 2 trades today. But it should be like, doing the right trade every time. We don't know which those are going to happen because there's all types of coins. The market is very, flexible. So if you're just making the right trade and you're taking in your 25, 30, 2250, your 33%, and you're just, sliding that to the side and throwing it back in the spot, keep moving your profits, and you just keep banging that out. At the end of the week, you turn around and go, shit, man, I'm up 1,500. The next week, you can do it again. Maybe you only make 1,000. Maybe you only make 900, but you're up 24 total. Now you can take that $1,000 bag and make it a $2,000 bag because now you have your $1,000 bag, but you just put 2,400 into spot. You take half of that, right? So that way, if you fuck up, you have that other 1,500 to put back in your bag. So if you do lose a 30% stop loss, you can take 300 from spot and make your bag 2,000 again and say, all right, I need to be more patient. And then that next roll of the dice, 30% on $2,000, 500.
Yeah, it's a lot easier and less stressful to do 30%, which is guaranteed. Even just a short run that Boogie and we just did earlier on this one, we went up to 68.
Yeah,
but
no.
I cashed on at 52. I just took a 50, 52.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are built to have. That's what I mean. I built the whole program so that we could have 100 to 500% wins, right? That is just to show you.
We did that on CFX that night.
Yeah.
BC. We want to help it. We want to.
Dude, you guys went crazy.
That was That's when I got really encouraged because I really tripled my bag, just like you triple your bag. I stayed in there. I got the 150, and then my problem is greed. So I hit 150 or 160. And I'm like, oh shit, it's still going down. I went back in there again. And I picked up another 150, 120. Because that thing went down 400, 350 or something like that. So, and
that's okay because once you have to also, this is where you have to like, don't trade off of the excitement, trade on the purpose, right? So if you see the value, you're like, yo, this thing is not going to save itself. And then you start getting in. And you're like, all right, I'm going to ride this out. Okay, bam, I grabbed another 150, right? Said, man, this thing is, where it wants to be. And at that point, like I like to do, if I get like 800 out of a trade and then it pushes up a little and starts to give up, I'll put 100 and say, you know what, let me get the crumbs out of this trade, right? And I'll lock that in and I'll say, all right, man, 50%. If I lose it, who cares? I'm going to put 200% profit. So if it really dumps, then this will give me another 200. All right, and I kind of watch it out, and then if it does what it does, I'm happy. If it doesn't, I'm like, it was only 50. Right, but that allows me to, get that trade that I want out of my system, but I'm not putting really anything to hurt me because I already took my 2 wins, right? Like that 200 to the 800, right? I'm already up 8, so if I give 50 of that back, then it is what it is. But at least I had opportunity to make 200. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what it is. And that you want to be like, have that mentality like you hit it twice and you're like, all right, I got my 2 big wins. Let me get a small win out of it. And then that's it, right? And you're like, all right, I'm out of here. Let me go find something else, right? Because you got to, that's the mentality.
I'll be honest. If we follow 4-2-1, like you said, 4-2-1, and then 30 and 15. If we just follow these 5,
yes.
I'm doing short, so all of them have to be going down. 30 to 40% is guaranteed every time.
Oh, every
It's never
time.
less than
Every
that.
time, bro.
It usually goes to 200,
Yeah.
250.
Yeah.
Usually. So, but 30 and 50, I mean, I said at 50. So that's guaranteed.
Yeah.
And then once you build up to, like you said, $2,000 bag,
Yeah.
and you do these trades every day, if you spend time, I think one trade a day,
Yeah.
you can always get
Yeah.
all 5 of them lined up.
Yeah, believe me,
There's always a possibility.
you like everyone's always worried like it's the wrong mentality. That's why it's so hard. The system was designed to have 200% trades. Why? Because you're not going to have the best entry when you first. The system was made for people who don't know how to do the shit. It's made for the guy who doesn't get the right entry because he doesn't know resistance. He doesn't see a pattern. He doesn't realize the volume is getting weak here. Like, he can miss every fucking signal in the world and get the worst fucking entry, and he still gets 80%. Like, that's the point. Like, it's designed to get the worst case scenario 62%, like earlier, right? If we're only going for 30, you can't fuck this up.
Now, every time we lost VC, we'll be honest. You know, I mean, Boogie and I were talking about it earlier.
You're going for too much.
He and I think Carlos also, if any time we lost anything, it's because we got greedy. We didn't follow the system. Being honest with you.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Follow the system. 30 to 40% is guaranteed.
All day. All day.
But we just, you know, we just want to jump the gun.
But that's the mentality, and that's why I was telling Boogie earlier. I was like, look, it's a designed to where we break to the next level. Like, the next thing that you guys we're gonna be talking about. You know, the first thing is you have to. I had to work out all the, like, I had to figure out, like, all right, what are all the issues that guys have, right? So the first part was putting the system out there and then let everybody kind of work through it. And then we critiqued it, got rid of videos, redid the videos, and we're gonna polish them off this week. But then it's like, all right, now the system is like, I don't give a shit who you are, you can't fuck this up. And now we're at the point like, all right, now what, right? And we got Alf coming out here making this motherfucker's making indicators that does everything for you. I mean, Alf's like on autopilot shit, right? So he's designing shit. Like, Alf is going to take you motherfuckers to a whole nother level. And I'm like, all right. So now that we got that aspect on top of it too, you can't really fuck this up. Now it's the mentality of how to explain scalability, right? Because that's what the problem is that you guys are going for more profits because you want more money. But we're here compounding. So the whole ideal of having the 7 trades in a row and doubling your bag is supposed to be able to put more money in your spot. It's supposed to put 2 to 1. 2 to 1 to your spot. Your bag doubles. 2 to 1 to spot. Your bag doubles. And eventually you're trading with a $2,000 bag and you got $8,000 in your fucking spot. So even if you did fuck up and you're like, oh, but you still have $2,000 in the other side, you could pull that back over and go, okay, I know what I did wrong. Right? So it's like the transition of how to explain that we don't scale with holding trades longer than we need. We scale profits by making the bag bigger and then actually lowering the target of percentages. Like, we don't want 62% on a trade. We want 30. But if you want to make 600, how do you do that? Well, that means you need a $2,000 bag. Because 30% of 2,000 is 600. You don't take a fucking $300 bag, right, and try to get 200%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the next part. Yeah. But that has to, listen, I know, guys. It's here's the thing, right? Me explaining the shit, right? It's like I tell everyone, like, look, this whole thing is really gonna get to the next level because it's a process of a community learning together. Like, you guys have no idea. Like, right now, the shit that's starting to click for you, right, is the real thing, right? Because it's like, this is confidence, right? Once you guys are like, oh, okay, and then now I'm like, yo, this is how it is. You're like, oh, that's fucking, like, Boogie's like, damn, VC, I wish you told me that before. Well, then he wouldn't have, you know what I mean? And right now he's so convicted with it because he knows he can do 35% every fucking trade. But how did he get there? He had to be like I said, guys. If I needed you to get up every morning and run 3 miles, right? I wouldn't get up every morning and have you run 3 miles, and then be like, all right, man, guys, this is it. I need you to run 3 miles every day, and you'd be like, oh, every fucking day, right? But if I get you up and I make you run 10 fucking miles, and 2 months later I'm like, listen, just run 3 miles a day. You motherfuckers be like, oh, thank God this motherfucker gave us a break. right?
You know, you see the Discord, the chat is a good thing. It tells us a lot, but it has one negative. What is that negative? The negative is when we see Boogie or someone else posting 500% profit.
Yeah.
That's a fucking dick measuring contest. You know, it's a contest for that, right? Like, fuck,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right? And then and that's when we lose. And I did that. I turned out. You know, I was gone for 2 days. I put myself on idle, and I made more money. I was just doing 50, 50, 50.
Yeah.
I don't care. If I post 50 on there,
But that's your journey. That's your emotional journey. Right? You have this is, believe me, man. Believe me. The reason why I get it, I don't post my bro. I stopped posting my trades a long time ago, right? Because I know like if motherfuckers. I used to trade live. I mean, if you I don't know how long you've been following me, man, but man, 3 years ago, motherfuckers who've been around me. I used to get on TikTok and I'd be like, people be like, trade, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, and we'd go jump in a trade, and I do like 70 grand on a trade, take in 7 grand in like a minute. And the motherfuckers be like, all right, again, and we do it again. Like it was reckless, and people would be.
That's how I met you. It was the first time I think I seen you on TikTok. Oh no, it was a scammer that contacted me. Right?
Yes.
And then you know what happened was he made a mistake. He was playing your video, how you log on to Mexi or something on TradingView, and then I seen a phone number there that you typed in actually, and the number that he was calling me and messaging me from was different. So I called that number and you answered, and you said, "Yeah, that's a scammer."
Yeah, I remember that.
December. You remember that?
Yeah,
that was December last year, and then I had to off. I was like, "This shit's not gonna work out for me." And then I came back in July. And that's when I messaged you and said, "I'm serious now." So
well, that motherfucker got you for that XRP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, man, but that's the whole thing. It's like. It's there for a reason. Now those are fun times. Like I liked it because like the next day I would get up and we were trading. Like sometimes I'd be up 36 hours trading, and you know guys would pop up and the next like I'd get fucking messages and guys be like, "Yo, thanks for that Shiba Inu fucking trade last night. I just bought a Jeep." Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Man, motherfuckers would be
you posted
crazy.
Something a while back, and you know I wasn't really sure if I'm gonna get in there, but I guess someone got it there. They made a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
That was, I think, a few weeks ago. You posted something 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Motherfuckers
I can't remember what coin it was.
It was about. I had to, shit got crazy, man. The last Discord, it was like, oof. I mean, there was guys popping. We'd have live talks like this, 100 people in, and there'd be guys popping up like, "Hey, man, I just took profits on this coin, man. I'm up 70,000." Like what? And then people would feel bad because the guy would be like, "Hey, man, I just made 10,000," and then 5 people after him made like 30. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it gets crazy because it's. But I'm like, guys, you're making thousands. Like, it's not about that money. It's about the percents, right? And that's why, you have to go through that. You have to see it and be like, all right, that was a good ass. All that lets you know is that that's a trade you should have had. You shouldn't be like, all right, I need to match that trade. You need to be like, all right, that trade existed. Like, how'd that trade happen? And then realize when you're in a trade, find that same setup. And just know that you're going to get that 300 to 400 to 500%, right? And just be like, oh man, all that. When I see all them big ass wins, like it's just the mentality of going, yeah, man. That just lets me know that we can fucking make as much as we want out here, right? That's where you guys. That's the next level of you have to get through that. And that's the beautiful thing about the community is like you have to talk it out. Like, man, don't try to fucking challenge the trade. Go out there and make your percentages, right? Because you can have a guy who puts $100 and does a 500% trade and be like, man, you don't realize he's only up 500. Now you got a $4,000 bag, you take 30%, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't risk it. If you got a bigger bag, you're not going to risk it to go to community.
Nah. Why? I'm making more money. Like that's like if I'm trading a $4,000 bag at 30%, I just took in $1,200.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's where you guys have to. This is the next part of realizing like. Percentages are great. That just shows us that we have plenty of room here. We got cushion to work, right? The goal is a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 bag, right? I love this leverage, man. I used to have to trade 20, 30,000 to make what I make now because I only had 10% leverage on fucking KuCoin, right? Now, like shit, you got put $2,000 up. You could put $2,000 up. You got a 100% leverage. It's like, it's cake work. Like, it's so much better.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys have to realize. Like, the percentages, when you see them, they're great to see because that lets you know that those are trades where, shit, man, if I had a $5,000 bag, I only needed 30. Like, goddamn, that was, man, that was easy money right there. That 30%, I could have got any in that trade anywhere and made 30%. And that's what you have to start putting in your head is like, man, when I get to $5,000 a bag, right, and I'm knocking 30% out, right, that's it's just easy money. $1,500 a trade, 4 trades a week. I mean, I don't know if you, I don't think you're gonna be too unhappy with $6,000 a week, guys.
No, that's good money.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want to look at the RPL now and give us some feedback? What's going on?
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Like, if you guys watch this, right? I told you it's gonna fight this little area here, right? Because it has to finish up. But this 30 minutes is about to hit. So I jumped in at 27.15, right? That's what I was telling you guys. As soon as that last kind of like big wick happened there, like we ran out with Boogie or where Sean right there, we seen that big wick, and I jumped in. Right at the 27.15 because I can tell. Look at the volumes there, right? And another thing is, as soon as the volume went below the 4.5, look, it fought right here, it got rejected, came up. This is my entry right here. See, this is down. Like, even if the 15 minutes on the bottom, right? I'm comfortable with this top entry because the 15 minute here, even if it tries to push up, the volume is gone, so it doesn't matter. Now I'm safe, right? This is where, like, what you're talking about, cost average buying, you're a lot safer now because there's no volume to fight you.
I see. I got it.
So 15 minutes down. So that's not. I'm not worried about it anymore because there's no volume there, right?
Right.
It's gonna stay down.
Yeah. Now the only thing that you can look at is like, all right, I want to. What you want to do here is get in at least about maybe like a 30 to 40, maybe even 50% of your trade, and then use the other 50% as the 15 minute comes up. And this is where I would go to the lower time frames, right? So I would jump to the 5 minute. You see how the 5 minutes coming down right here? See right here how the 5 minute went up? Notice the 5 minute didn't get all the way up and started to come down, right?
Yeah.
That's right there what I would be like, oh, okay, so this is where we're going to see this last hurrah, right? Whatever this has left is going to be in this little pocket. So on this little 5 minute bend down, I would start buying here. Right, I would put half my order in right here on this candle, which ended up being 27.08. And then when this 5 minute goes all the way back to the top, wherever that happens, that's my last buy-in. So whatever this next push is right here, that's my second buy. So that's what I'm looking for right now, this second buy-in right here. Because it's going to go green. It's going to try to push up. This is going to let me know what's happening here, right? So this is where you got half your bag in, but you got the other half for the 15 minute. All right, what that does is just protects you on the fact that if it does dump right now, you have at least half a bag in, and then when it bounces from that dump, you can put the other half in somewhere when it bounces up and then get into that next move. And then here you have half a bag in, and now you get the 15 minute pushing up. Now that the volume's real low, you don't have to worry about a big spike here. You could just have to buy into wherever this 5 minute comes to an end here. And that's kind of where we're
It's
at.
gonna go in negative, for example. It will just go in negative for a little bit, right? For the 5 minutes to go up.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the 5 minute to move up, right? You always want to have at least, you want that to roll, right? So if you go to the lower time frames, like, guys, you can come down here, and for me, I would say even if you went to the 3 minute, you said, you know what? I'm going to buy in here when this 3 minute reaches the top again. Notice how the 3 minute didn't make it here, and now it's down here, right? I would be like, all right, I'm going to buy in when the 3 minute finally gets to the top, whenever the fuck that is. So watch this, and then when the 3 minute finally gets to the top again, that's the entries that we're looking for right there. Because the volume is now gone, so it's just all it's doing is just kind of solidifying a floor here of where it's going to start coming down. And so far it looks like 27.08, if you jumped early, is probably the mid entry, and then somewhere if it whatever it does here, we're going to see. But I always like to kind of let it roll to the top. So when this 3 minute got to the top here, I bought in there. When the 3 minute got to the top, that was my buy-in. So I'm at like 24, like 15. So this big ass spike that we had in here, got that little green moon going. That's where I was getting in there. So I'm a 27.15er. So I'm in here somewhere.
I'm at 27.09.
That's a decent entry. Now you're just waiting for this. Now what you can see here is like if you see where it's starting to move up, but there's like it's not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like it's just not gaining any price. Right now it's 27.07. Doesn't seem like it's doing too much, and it's like, all right, so let me set 27.09 ish. Let me look for that. I just wanted to kind of, finish its little zone. Like I said, what I'm looking for, the guaranteed one, where you can put yourself down and say, okay, this all is about to happen. This is what I'm looking for. The entry, where you're completely safe and everything's done, is going to be this 30-minute red moon, which we're pretty much gaining on right now. Yeah, we're right.
When you jump in, you like sailing.
Yeah, I'm totally in on that one, right? Yeah, I'm totally in on that one. So once I see that like get a little bit closer, then that's where I would be jumping in. Now, since it's almost already there, then this is where I would make the decision and say, okay, I'm gonna let my 3-minute go to the top, and then that's my entry. Because I know that by the time this gets to the top and starts to come down, this will trigger the 30-minute right here. This next 3-minute down. So right now, watching this 3-minute, wherever the hell this goes and starts to bend down, that's my entry. That's why you guys hear me in videos say, guys, sometimes let the RSI run out and go up. So I'm going to turn on the...
I got a quick question for you. It's a side note. Why is it sitting at 13%, but I only have like 66 cents on the dollar as a gain, even though it's... Is that something to do with the volume or the trade? Did it when I jumped in? What's the difference there?
All right, so what are you looking at? Are you looking at the...
So I got in at the 27.09. I'm looking at Mexi. I put a 50% gain, 20% stop loss, $20 in, maxed it out, and opened the short on a limit trade at 101.
What's your
leverage.
percentage right here? So the first thing is like you see my screen here.
Yes.
All right, that's how much you put in. How much is up here?
Let me. I want to go back to
That should have your $20 in there.
It's got it says 1650.
Okay, that's how much you have in there. Then you move to the next thing here. What does it have right here on that top?
Let me see here. At the top one, it says the very top line 0.0729
In the green?
in the green.
Okay, all right, hold on. So there's always three columns here, right? The first column is going to be how much you put in, right? That's where your 16 is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
1658.
And then below it, it's just going to have the same thing, 1658. And then it should say isolated below that. Now, if you move to your right on the other side, across from the 16 should be your profits. So you should be up 10%, right?
So it says $1 or $2.52. It just jumped on a 15% profit.
15%. 15% is below it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you're up 15%. I was going to say you should be around there right now. Okay. So that's calculating right. Okay. Now,
So the money value is $1.29, $1.90.
Yeah.
The positive. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. Because it's giving you 15% of your $16. So about $2.89.
So why is it $16 when I went in with 20 and then maxed it out? I don't understand what took place there.
Okay, here so go is in your open orders right here. So here's your open position. Here's your open orders.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now, for some reason what I need you to do is slide over here to your wallet, right? Now, the wallet balance right here is how much you started off with. Right? How much did you start?
Hold on one second. I'm bouncing back and forth to the two screens.
You're
So
good. Take
yes,
your time,
it's
brother.
correct. Thank you. Wallet balance, $51 in it.
Okay, 51 in there. Now, how much is in an available margin?
54 cents.
Okay, so let's.
So maybe there's another partially open order.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
on check open order. It says open position.
There's 2 there, but
There
I
you
didn't
go.
go 2. So
No. So what happened is, BC, can I explain, because this shit happens with me all the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what
yeah.
happened is,
But hold on, before you guys go on, this is what I was trying to say. Like, when you look at your wallet balance, right? That's how much you start with. Okay. When you go down to your available, right? So if you're putting 20 in this trade, right? Because you wanted to put 20, right?
Yes.
Okay. So somehow that went wrong because you actually have all 50 missing, right? Like available margin, how much is left? Nothing, like 40 cents or something?
Yeah, 54 cents.
Yeah, yeah. So somewhere you have $50 on this trade, but you only have 16 in a trade. So we're missing that other money, that $44, the $34.
So,
But
yeah.
before
so
you
it's
move,
probably,
yeah, he's got it in open orders, but before you make that trade, man, you got to remember, like when you start doing your percentages, you got to realize if you're only going to put 20 in this trade, right? That means your slider should have only been at about 30, maybe 40% when you open the order. Is that what you had the slider on?
Yeah, I maxed it out.
Okay, no. If you max it out, that means you're going with all 50.
Oh, no. So I put in a number of $20, and then underneath it, I hit the slider all the way and drug it all the way to the right.
Oh, no. You typed in $20 here? Yeah, but you typed in 20. Yeah, don't type anything in there. Don't type anything. Just use the slider.
And that's a percentage of my
Wallet. Yes.
so should I just cancel this order?
No, you're fine right now. Now Sean's gonna walk you through like where your money is right now.
No.
What probably happened is, let's say you put 2709 for your entry price, and what happens sometimes is it moves so fast and quick, the thing, it only grabs a little percentage of that. So if you look at your open position, there should be something next to it called open orders.
Yeah, there's open order, and there's a number 2 next to it.
Okay, that means there are 2 positions waiting to click. And if this thing moves, if the wick moves to 2709 once more, or 2708, it will grab that. So leave it, don't close it yet. Right? We see it's good, right, for him, because if it goes
like
up there, it will grab that. I usually set 3 lines. I go 27 point, 10 point, 12 point, 13. Because if it jumps spikes, it's going to grab like it's spiking right now. It's going to grab your order. If it goes up to 27.
Well, open your
grab.
open them up. Go to your open order, right? So if you go to your open order, you should see the order. It should say something like direction, right? It should say short, meaning you're shorting, and then it should say an average entry price, and then it should have the entry price there, right? It should say what you're looking to get into, and that's the price that you're looking to buy in.
So there on the open order, even though it says 2 up there, there's only 1 listed.
Okay.
Well, one of them is your stop loss.
Yeah, one of those stop losses.
So right now they're just going to show you the one that hasn't filled yet, right? So what does it say?
Let's see. It says all the normal 26.95 at the top. The take profit 27.14. Stop loss gives you an order filled amount. Direct leverage sell short 101. I mean, I could go right down.
No, it should be like when you're on your open order, right? There's one line there, right?
Yes, there is one line. That is correct. Underneath that one line, or right underneath open order that says 2, it says take profit, stop loss 1.
Okay.
Limit order 1.
What's the limit order?
Oh, so if I click on the underneath the open position and I click limit order, you want me to give you off the
Well, no,
information there?
it should be like, so there should be an order there that has where it should say a short, and it should have a price, like it should have a trigger price, like should say buying at 2709 or 2710 or whatever the hell you set it at, and it should have like how much it's going to fill. So
27. Okay, so once on open order, that's got the number 2 next to it. Underneath, right underneath there, there has a take profit, stop loss, order 1. So it has a direction of a short. Average entry price 27.09. Estimated liquid 27.25. Trigger conditions 26.95. Stop loss 27.14. And then revoke the quantity and then revoke.
Okay, click on limit order. There's another
Okay.
another thing right next to it called limit order.
to the
Correct.
left.
Click on that,
Uh-huh.
and then
it
read.
What's that?
says sell short 101x amount 5087.2 order price 2709 order filled amount 2709 filled price margin used 51.41 take profit stop loss 26.95 27.14.
So go to okay.
So-
So here, look at my screen real quick, right? So when you have an
Okay.
open position, now once the order is like you put an order in, if it doesn't fill completely, when you go to open orders, it should have a little thing in limit order right here.
Okay.
Anything that's in there means there's a waiting order for a price, right? And you can look at the order price, and that order price is where it's trying to fill the order, right? So go to that limit order area right there, right? There's one there,
And
right?
there's one there.
Okay,
Yes.
go to the far right and revoke it.
Revoke trading details.
It might not work with just revoke. He might have to cancel out because I always do that. It shows like
Oh, yeah.
partially traded.
Yeah, it's got a screen popped up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, just go up
cancel
above
out.
cancel off. Far right
Okay.
above the revoke.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll see cancel out.
All right, ordered field partially canceled. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm just back to one open position and one order.
And look at your wallet now. Did the money
It's-
pop in there?
Available
It's
margin.
$35.
There
Yes.
you go.
That was the money that was
I know.
the money that was waiting to fill. So it
Okay.
filled partial.
So even though I'm now at 7.82% profit, it still is only showing me like $1.12.
Yeah, because it's only on that $16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh,
when
You can,
yeah. So if you want
so
to
you
like,
can try to add more if you want to because it's at 27. For example, it's at 27.08.
right,
I mean that's up to you. I'm saying if you wanted to increase your
you're back, right? So
trade.
here, so what you would
Yeah.
do is go to your last price, click last price, right, and they'll pop up 27.08. All you want to do here is
Yep.
because we're pretty close to the pennies. Just go to the price on last. Get rid of 27.08. Just get rid of the 8. So it's just 27.0. Okay.
All right.
Now
so
you-
where it says last, we're just going to put the number 27 in there.
Yeah, 27 decimal. Now if you hit
Oh,
last,
yeah,
it'll,
that-
yeah, if you hit last, the price will pop up. All I do is I'm getting rid of that little cent at the end because I want it to be $27. So I'm just going to get
All
rid
right,
of the
got
6, right? So just get
Okay.
rid of that one number. Now
Okay.
you have $35 in, right? So what you would do is take your slider and say you wanted to make this a $20 trade, right? So if you went to half, that would be half that 30, that would be 15, right? So that would take this to a $30 trade, right? If you wanted to put 10 in there, then you would go to the, you would slide down more to the 25% mark, and then it would, it would fill that order for you and put more in. So put it on 25%, and then
Oh, 25. Okay.
go down, and then go down and put open short.
All right. It still has my same. All right. I did everything there. Stop loss trigger price is near the order and may be triggered soon.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Now
All right, I am in there.
the $16 should have changed. What did it change to?
The $16 would been open position or the open order.
Yeah, open. It should be open position. So go back to that top left, open position. It should only be one there.
It should be 1657 and right underneath it 1655.
Did you? And you opened up a
Wait.
short.
You
I
didn't
did.
open up a long, did you?
I did not.
All right, so look to your left. Are they both saying?
Short.
Are they both saying short? Right.
There's only open position says 101 short. Open order says short.
Okay, yeah. Go to
Okay,
your.
so again, it went into partially.
Damn it.
No, wait. Maybe
No, it
that's
should
just
be in
your
there.
stop loss.
So I'm negative right now. Now now I'm back up 4% positive with 66 cents.
What is your So go to. All right, so it should have popped in where it was one. So when you have open position, right? That open position should only have one next to it. Like it should say open position, the number one. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so there should only be one open position. So when you click on open position and there's only showing that there's one and you click it, what is that open position?
101X short, 2708, 2709, 2724. That'd be estimated liquidation. Margin ratio 42.1%, $16.55 USDT. Same.
Okay, so
USD,
now go
isolated.
isolated. Okay, yeah. Now
Yeah,
go to your
It's still in open order.
Yeah,
It's
go to your
still
open
stuck in
order.
Okay.
right, and then you should have a limit order that's open on your left.
No, it's zero. Limit order is zero underneath.
Okay, what is the available margin on the wallet?
$34.93.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it didn't make
It
that.
didn't open.
Yeah, it didn't open for you. Okay.
So we gotta cancel that again.
No, it's already. It didn't. It didn't.
No,
It
that's
canceled
just the
itself.
stop loss for your first one.
Yeah, it canceled itself. All right, so now go to your right, okay? Go to the very top, and the very first, the box that should be clicked should say open, right? See at the top, isolated,
Yes.
one says open, one says close, you're on open, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're on limit too, right? Slide down below that, limit.
Yeah, I am on limit now, yes.
Okay, now when you go and hit the last price, right? Click on last,
Latest, okay.
and what'll happen is the price pops up at the last price, $27.04, right?
Okay.
In order to get the order in, it has to be lower than that price. So you can just click on your mouse and click on the right side of the 4 cent, and you hit the backspace and you just delete 4 cents, like the number 4. So now that it's just 27.0.
Correct.
Okay. Now below that is quantity USDT, right? Don't type anything in there. Take the slide bar to 15 or 20%, 25 or whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Now scroll down and hit open short.
All right. It is on the little boxes.
The red and the green.
The red and the
Yeah,
green.
the red and green. But just I need to click the box short, right?
Open short.
But do I uncheck that box?
What box are you
Oh,
looking
forget
at?
about the box right now.
No, no. Oh
He's
yeah,
talking
no.
about these
Uncheck
seven.
that. Uncheck that box. You have.
Okay, so I unchecked and now I'm hitting confirm on open short.
Yeah, open short, because you had stop losses and stop long and TP and TL hit, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, get rid of those. You're gonna set them manually. Now hit open short.
All right. Order submission successful.
Now look at your
Okay,
$16.
26.
Okay, it added money.
Yes.
Okay. The problem is like that stop loss when you have that, if you don't put in the top stop loss or the percentages, it doesn't fill the order.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me verify that. Open order. Open positions 1, and now it's $25.54.
Yes, they went in. It went in for you. But when you click those
Okay.
boxes on the right before you place an order, you have to fill it
Yes.
out, right? You don't want those boxes checked. Don't check those boxes. That's where you're
Oh,
gonna.
okay.
That's where you're gonna use the plus sign after you place the order. You're then going to go to the blue plus sign down there, click on that, and that is where you put your stop loss.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've done it the other way before, and it seemed to work just fine. Though.
Yeah,
Okay,
but some,
you need
yeah,
to you need to watch those videos that he explains all this in there.
yeah.
Which one is it, VC? Is that the day one or?
Yeah.
Yes,
I've watched
it's
them.
in the day
Yes.
one. It's on the MEXC stop losses and all that shit. It's in there. But yeah, you want to do it manually because when you have them over there, by the time you type all that shit in, you're like,
Gone.
you're missing
It's
your
gone.
prices. Yeah. Do you want to get
Yeah.
into the trade and then set your stop loss?
All right, so now I'm up 12% with a $3 profit.
Yeah.
Does that sound